Hey everyone, layout update I wanted to give here. So as you can see, I've got some tracklets gone from my previous videos. The spur off the main here that feeds the industries for this part of the layout, or the only part of the layout, that had the Atlas snap tracks, which I previously talked about in a separate video, which I've been having a lot of trouble with. So I have been looking at tons of track, or tons of switches and turnouts, I should say, and I finally came to the conclusion that I'm just going to go with the Atlas custom line. I've used these in the past, and they're solid. I mean, they're not the most realistic in terms of the prototype. You know, the frogs, they're metal frogs, they're fully insulated, which is nice. But compared to some of the Pico and some of the micro engineering, they don't quite look as good, in my opinion. But they're still nice, and they work very, very well, and I trust them, and that's the main thing about it. As an example, I've got some micro or Shinohara turnouts on the track, on the layout. You can see one here, and they're just beautiful. You know, they look really nice. The problem is it's a fully hot frog, so you have to insulate, you know, this portion of track or cut portions of track here, and then, you know, possibly power this if you want to, which I'm going to do for the switches or the turnouts on the main line. I've got a couple more down here. I'm going to use the tortoise turnout. Under table turnout switches for these, so I can keep this section, you know, powered, and I've got them all insulated, and I'll paint those to hide and stuff like that. But for the yard section, I'm just going to go with the Atlas custom line. So I've made a change too in what I'm doing with these. Is I'm going with number 6 turnouts instead of number 4. So the number 4 turnouts are great for yards because they're very tight and they save a lot of space, especially on smaller, you know, switching layouts like this. The problem with it is that they're very, very aggressive, and reading into the Atlas snap switches, which is what these are, this turn apparently is really aggressive, even more than like a number 4, some people are saying, which isn't good. So when I initially started thinking about this 10 years ago when I bought these, I'm like, yeah, it'll be fine. I'll use mostly my, you know, 4-axle locomotives back in the yard for switching. More and more I think about it, I'm like, that's dumb. What if I want to use a 6-axle locomotive back here? You know, that would kind of limit me. Now, I did test it, and like my SD50s and SD45s would make that turn and go back there, but I didn't like it. It was a little tight. So going to the number 6s will help that a lot. And I'll be using number 6s throughout the layout there. So as I mentioned, I got a lot of turnouts in. I've got more coming as well. And turnouts are hard to find right now. That was the other problem I had. The Picos and the micro engineerings, while they are more expensive than the Atlases, it just seems a lot of people are sold out of them right now. There's some on eBay with high prices that, I don't know, that I'll be happy with these. They'll be good. I trust them, and I'll have a solid functioning layout with them. Besides that, I know this white's probably blown out the camera right here, but this is where my diamond was, right here. And I'm going to leave that configuration because I've got this spur coming off and servicing just a small industry over here. And then I've got this one coming off and going through there to feed the rest of the industries in the back of the layout. So I like diamonds. I just think they're neat. It's a neat touch of layout, and it saves me a little bit of space in doing this too. But unfortunately, I ruined this diamond pulling it off the board, so I'll have to replace that there. But the change I made was, in the old layout, I had cork road bed going to right about here. So that distance off of the mains, or the spur there, you know, down to the wood board. And I did the math on that, and that's actually like a 4.5% grade or something, just for that short little run. So I actually extended it out, some drywall compound. So I brought it all the way out there, basically almost a little over doubled it. This brings it down to just under a 2% grade, which is a little bit more realistic. So it's all level. I got that sanded. I'm going to paint it, and then the track will go on top of that to feed the rest of the yard there. But what else? So the snap switches too, I noticed one other issue with them I didn't mention in that previous video is, so these are the wheels I use for all my freight cars that don't have metal wheels. So these are the Intermountain semi-scale series. These are the 33s, yeah, 33 inch. But they're nice because they're a little bit more realistic because the wheel size is slightly thinner. They look a little bit better on cars, I think. So they work fine on all the track and all the switches, except for, again, these snap switches. So right here, I noticed as cars were rolling through the actual points on the switch, they would hit this spot here. Sorry, camera's not focusing there. And the wheel would actually fall into the little slit here on the rail where the switch points fall into. Because it's a pretty aggressive cut. I'm trying to get a picture of this. It's not cooperating. But if you roll it, the wheel will just kind of end up and sit right there like you can see. Sorry for the shakiness too. But so all the cars were kind of actually just like falling off the track right there. It kind of sits into there, which isn't good. You can see it's just kind of fall in. So again, weirdness with these turnouts. The more I look into them, the more I see that they're just kind of inexpensive line of Atlas. So I'm glad I'm not going to be using them. I'll have much better luck with these on the layout, which I'll be happy about. So anyway, just making progress. Just wanted to provide an update on that. And I should have a video, next video should be on the design. I think I've pretty much finalized the design for what I'm doing for this layout. Again, taking out a lot of track from my original design, kind of simplifying things. But yeah, keep it enough there to make it interesting enough and fun to do some switching operations. So that's all I got right now. Thank you for watching.